I almost got in trouble at work.
And why is that?
I was about to throw hands. And I'm not going to say I was about to throw hands. I just felt disrespected. And if this dude said another thing about it, I was going to say something, which usually doesn't end well. I told you, and I said on this podcast a couple weeks ago, nobody cares about headphones in this building anymore. It's a rule that you can't have headphones. It's a rule. But people don't care. People just walk past.
Yeah.
I'm standing in pack, and I'm at my station, have my phone on the table, looking at a podcast, looking at a YouTube video to watch, whatever, or just play in the background. One of the new guys comes up to me and is like, "Hey, put your phone away." And I look at him.
Now, is this a new guy or like a new manager guy?
A new manager, at least at this building. He's pretty new. He's a couple months new. I look at him and I go like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." Put my phone in my pocket, go back to packing. But if he came up to me again, I was like, "What are we doing?" I was going to be, I know this is me in my head, like being that guy. But honestly, if he came up to me and said something else, I'd be like, "Nobody cares. You're the only one that cares. Don't be that dork."
We went through this whole thing years ago, probably a year ago at this point. Nobody cares anymore.
Nobody. Not a single. The thing about it is he himself has seen me with my phone out and earbud in. Hasn't said shit. So why do you feel like saying something now? It's annoying.
Why now?
But in that building, I had a real weird weekend. And I think that was one of the things that's just added on top of it. While I'm in that building, there's a quote from Sons of Anarchy. For those of you who don't know, I enjoy Sons of Anarchy. Well, enjoyed. Upon a couple watches, it just gets worse. But
there's a lot of movies.
There's some things about Sons of Anarchy that I enjoy. One of the quotes in that, Clay is talking about Darby. Clay, for those of you who don't know, leader of the Sons of Anarchy until a couple seasons in. Darby, leader, I want to say it's the Aryan. It's like a Nazi affiliated thing.
Okay.
But deals meth, right? He's in prison currently, just got out to start the season. And Clay has a quote that I use to describe that building. And that quote is, "There's two things in prison that feel good. One of them is jerking off. The other one is thinking about what you're going to do when you get out." I'm not saying Amazon is prison. I'm just saying that repeats in my head when I'm in there.
I just immediately think, this man admitting to jerking off at Amazon.
I have. I'm not ashamed. You got to get done. Dude, sometimes I just drop in the aisle and I'm like, I hope nobody walks fast. And I just furiously, I scream. I'm a screamer.
I'm glad there's not a lot of people in that building, or at least in that area. Or they just can't hear you over the fans in the aisle.
No. I especially go to the fans in the aisle so no one hears me. I don't do it in the middle of the mez. I'm not a monster.
Yeah.
No, but I don't. No, that doesn't happen. I'm just saying that's the quote, and I'm glad you're taking this. Shut the fuck up. No. But yeah, Sons of Anarchy has been my favorite TV show for a little bit. Supernatural was working its way up there. Breaking Bad was working its way up there. But as it stands right now, if you're like, what's your favorite TV show? It's Sons of Anarchy.
See, I tend to have categories of favorites, which is why a lot of times when I get asked, "Hey, what's your favorite show, movie?" I'm like, okay, what do you mean by that? Like, we talking animated, live action, drama, something like that.
Do you feel it's more appropriate for people to ask, what movies do you recommend? What shows do you recommend rather than what's your favorite?
Yes, but I still go into what do you like, just to see if I have a suggestion within their suggested genre or something. Yeah. Like recently I had like a friend of mine, she was like, "I need you to recommend me some anime." And I was like, "Okay, what do you like?" She was like, "Romance." So I started combing through the romance animes that I knew I had seen and was like, "You might like some of these."
There's only one romance anime I've ever seen.
What is that?
Hey Maybell. What is that movie where it's two people and they're tied together, they keep swapping bodies. It's a man and a woman. One lives in the city, one lives in a village. Have you ever heard of that?
I don't know that one.
It's like Life is Beautiful or something. I've seen that. I know the
concepts. I think I've seen something similar.
I've seen Tokyo Ghoul. Is that a romance anime?
No.
That's pretty romantical, right?
I think that's more of a psychological thriller, but...
You're telling me when you first saw one of the ghouls where she, like, ate 7 different security guards, you weren't like, I'm romance. I
think at the moment when, spoiler alert, I think the moment when they were on the date and, she suddenly starts eating them, that's where I was like, I'm romanced.
That's the point where you were like, I'm in. I'm
in
for the ride. I wouldn't mind that. Where can I find me a lady that will just eyes turn red, teeth turn into fangs?
Dangerous women don't get you.
Dangerous women, yeah, especially when they rip a chunk of flesh out of you.
Yeah,
that's when you're like, golly.
Like I know you've seen fucking Suicide Squad. Tell me, Margot Robbie didn't get you there.
Which Suicide Squad?
The one with Will Smith. And the shitty Joker.
The first one or the second one?
Was there 2? Did I miss that?
Yeah, the one with Idris Elba and King Shark and Polka Dot Man.
No, not that one. I forgot Margot Robbie was. I have seen the other one. I forgot Margot Robbie was also in that one. So not that one. Not with John Cena.
Timeout. Fuck it. No timeout. My dogs are being annoying. I hope y'all don't ignore the fucking growls. Speaking of superhero stuff, there were some things announced at CineCon. That is going to be fucking annoying. There's some things announced at CineCon. I think CinemaCon? Cinnamon?
Seeing CineCon.
Yeah. One of them, Captain America, Brave New World. Anthony Mackie getting a Captain America movie.
Yeah. Got the Falcon show. Wait,
the Falcon Mackie. Winter Soldier?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen clips of that show and it seems good. I've seen the clips of Agent America, Agent Zero.
I've seen a couple episodes of the show. I keep meaning to go back and finish it just like I do the Hawkeye one, but
I'm not into
forgot to log into Disney Plus, so
I'm not into the MCU past Endgame, but some things are catching my eye.
5? Phase 4.
Maybe. I never kept up with the phases in general. Like, if some MCU nutcase comes up to me and is like, what's your favorite Phase 3? Shut up.
I believe Phase 3 ended with either Endgame or Black Widow.
I don't know. But some things will catch my eye. Spider-Man No Way Home caught my eye. Deadpool 3 obviously is catching my eye. And now Captain America Brave New World. I'm interested to see, because I liked him as Falcon. Like I said, I never saw Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I know a lot of people were upset that Steve didn't give the shield to, or Falcon received the shield other than the Winter Soldier. But I'm excited for it.
I mean, I honestly would have thought, actually, I don't know who would have gotten the shield. If they even kept it going. I honestly thought it would have been over after Endgame.
You thought the Captain America character would have been over?
Yeah.
That's not how comics work, though, you know.
I know, but, we're not in the comics. MCU,
There's 2 things about comics that I want to leave in comic books. One of them is reviving everybody. A lot of people want RDJ to come back as Iron Man. Even if it's going to happen. And they'll say, well, even if he's a I don't care. Iron Man, Tony Stark, dead. Gone. Spoilers, great story.
If you haven't seen these.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it in, 8 years it's been out?
Yeah, but there's
Crimea River.
I know for a fact people haven't seen some of these.
Crimea River. Iron Man Endgame. Beautiful story for Tony Stark. Sure, if you want him a little cameo like they did Howard Stark in Endgame, where it's like a time travel thing, sure. But if we're talking like a character in a movie. Stop. Stay dead.
I honestly, knowing the MCU, how they've revived a couple characters in that movie specifically, I feel like somebody's going to end up doing that.
Agent Coulson should have never been revived.
Agent Coulson was revived many times.
His death meant something in the original Avengers. You felt it because you loved the dude throughout the movies, and then you're watching S.H.I.E.L.D. and all of a sudden,
I was going to say, did you watch S.H.I.E.L.D.? Because he never died, dude, apparently. He was just really close to dying.
When I was a kid, I was like, yeah, because I loved Agent Coulson. But now, when I'm looking at it from like a storytelling kind of beat, why? Why are you bringing... He doesn't need to be back.
They pretty much kept him out of like main like movies and such. He's really only been in S.H.I.E.L.D.
Has S.H.I.E.L.D. been classified as a canon thing? Because I know Ghost Rider has showed up in S.H.I.E.L.D., but not the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider. It's been the Hispanic Ghost Rider. Did you see that?
No, I think I stopped watching S.H.I.E.L.D. after like season 3 or something.
No, I was looking up Ghost Rider clips because I watched the original 2 movies, and I found out that he showed up in S.H.I.E.L.D. Except, like I said, it wasn't Johnny Blaze. It was the Hispanic Ghost Rider.
Yeah, no, I hadn't seen this one. No.
Yeah. He's badass. But that's why I ask, are all of these characters canon to the MCU?
I doubt it.
I don't know. Because I know the S.H.I.E.L.D. was the first MCU show to appear. But with Agent Coulson being revived and all this stuff that kind of happened. I watched season 1. I didn't watch anything past that outside of the Ghost Rider stuff. But I don't know.
Well, according to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, an official timeline, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not canon to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay.
After Phil Coulson dies in the Avengers.
Then I will kind of go back on that. But when it happened, it was still considered canon, I believe.
Yeah, you couldn't tell if it was canon or not.
Yeah.
They did try and play off of the original timeline to justify Coulson not being dead.
Switching to DC, the reason I wanted to do this... Shut up! The reason I wanted to do this... Joker 2 trailer has now dropped, and we've had our arguments about the original Joker. But one thing I want to say, I don't think it should have gotten a sequel. I think the Joker movie should have stayed by itself.
I am of the different thought here. I mean, I like the Joker movie, and it did seem like a one-shot, I'll give you that, but I'm not opposed to it there being a sequel. That's if they, can do it as well as they did the original.
It's not even, it's like, so I'm going to list off a couple movies here that I heard is getting a sequel a year ago and even now. Smile, the horror movie that took everybody by surprise last year, even though it wasn't that good, in my opinion, it wasn't that good. That didn't need a sequel. The Black Phone is getting a sequel. The Black Phone should not have a sequel. It shouldn't have a sequel. It shouldn't. That might just be a rumor, but I've heard announcements that the Black Phone is getting a sequel. No. Okay. It should stand on its own.
Jog my memory. Black Phone was this kid stuck in a basement with the phone, right? And I did watch that one. It's getting a sequel?
It's getting a sequel. Why is it getting a sequel? There was nothing in the movie that baited towards a sequel. No. Hey, spoilers, anybody you want to skip, I don't know, however long until we're not talking about the Black Phone, but the killer dies. He dies in the movie.
Yeah.
So how are we I hope they don't turn into like, well, it's a Michael Myers thing where, well, yeah, he killed him, but there wasn't even that, because at the end of the original Halloween, you thought Michael Myers died, but when she looked out the window, he was gone. So you knew he was alive. Yeah. In this, he chokes the fucking guy out.
Yeah.
And he dies. There's no reason. Anyways, back to Joker.
There's no reason that movie needs a sequel.
Back to Joker. There's no use for a sequel. The first one was great. It stood on its own, but Joaquin Phoenix is not Joker in this new James Gunn DCEU. He's just not. Batman 2, there was a rumor that Joaquin Phoenix was going to be the Joker in Batman 2, and the director of Batman 2 said, no, he's not. And even then, those Batman movies are not connected to the DCEU. Those are going to stand by itself. So you have this, I don't know. Maybe if you want to see it as a comic book sort of thing where the Joker has his own story where he does this thing, but it's not direct. I don't know. But I think the Joker movie was good enough, and it set itself up in a way where it shouldn't have a sequel.
Okay, it didn't. I mean, okay, at the end of that movie, at the end of the first Joker, there was the snapshot you see of tiny Bruce Wayne, seeing his parents get shot and whatnot. But they still play on, like, this story's going to continue. How? And it does. For one, by that scene, because, that's the setup for Batman, but seems from the trailer that I'd seen, it didn't seem like Batman was going to be in that movie, but it still played off like in this trailer. For the record, this is a trailer, so I'm not really giving out any spoilers. You see a character that's going to be Harley Quinn. And I mean, Joker and Harley Quinn, that's just a classic, together. So there's more development going on. The movie doesn't necessarily call Joaquin Phoenix Joker at all.
Except in the title.
In the title. But like in the movie, it doesn't.
Well, that's the whole argument I had with you earlier. I don't think, or not earlier, but a couple episodes ago when we had the discussion about Joker, the Joker movie's not Joker. You're saying right now, Joker is not Joker.
Yeah.
He isn't labeled as Joker. That original movie, that is not the Joker character. He doesn't act like the Joker outside of being an insane clown. He doesn't act like the Joker. It doesn't set him up as the Joker. It sets him up as a insane person that was shit on by society, and a lot of people got around that and started committing chaos in his name, which is fine. Mm-hmm. But it's not the Joker. And now with Joker 2, I think it's going to fall in the same hole that Gotham did, where Gotham was supposed to be a prequel following Jim Gordon. Do you remember the show Gotham?
I barely watched any of that show, actually.
Okay, but in that, they started introducing Penguin and Joker because everybody was like, okay, I want to watch a Gotham show, but I want to watch Batman. And they introduced Batman and yada, yada, yada. And it's like,
in the Gotham show, Batman wasn't Batman yet, if I recall correctly, right?
He was. So I think the first episode was Jim Gordon consulting young Bruce Wayne. Mm-hmm. And then as the seasons went on, he became a teenager and you started seeing that he was interested in the detective stuff. And I believe in the final season, he became like a young version of Batman. I believe. It's been a while since I've seen it. But I just hope that Joker does not fall in that same hole, in that same criticism of like people saying, okay, yeah, Joker's cool, but now you're introducing Joker as a really old Joker. No hate on Joaquin Phoenix, looks great, but he's an old Joker, and he's already meeting Harley Quinn when that doesn't happen till well into Batman's reign as Batman.
I'm not going to argue and say it's canon or not, because it's obviously not, but I'm not against there being a second movie. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not.
I think obviously wouldn't be canon with how old they are now compared to how old Batman was in the last movie, or Bruce Wayne at that point.
I think it goes to an argument about what movies should get sequels and what shouldn't get sequels. Because I think they're just trying to capitalize on how successful Joker was, but I don't feel it's a movie. Okay, I won't say it doesn't deserve a sequel. I will say there's no
say like that they shouldn't capitalize on that, because I mean, my only thing is if the movie's going to be just as good, why not capitalize on it for one?
Sure.
I don't know if the movie's going to be that good, but I'm hoping it would be.
I guess you are arguing from the optimistic glass half full point of view, and I'm going glass half empty just because of the reputation people have on this successful movie, Lightning in a Bottle, great movie, and then they're like, well, everybody loved it, and it made a lot of money, so sequel,
Yeah.
It's like
it's practically what they did. I'm not going to say they didn't, but I mean, it was a good movie, and hopefully they'll keep that trend going.
A Quiet Place is proving me wrong. Quiet Place 1 was great. Quiet Place 2 was great. Day One, I think it's called. It looks like it's going to be good. Out. So A Quiet Place keeps proving me wrong on a movie where I felt it shouldn't have got a sequel.
But we did discuss A Quiet Place and how they're turning the Day One into like an action movie, at least what it looks like.
Sort of. Maybe like very Resident Evil kind of survival horror.
They're straying away from the original Quiet Place.
I will say, if they do that and they do that successfully, I'll backtrack on this hate or hesitation to fall in love with movies that are automatically getting a sequel. Because I immediately say, oh, it's a cash grab, and they're just going to fuck it up.
Sometimes they do, and I'm not going to say they don't, because there have been several movies where I'm just like, okay, that's just, no.
And it does get me nervous that in the trailer, it says something about how music is like the heart of whatever. And everybody's saying that is going to be a musical.
In Joker?
Yes. In the second Joker movie.
If they make that movie a musical, I will retract every statement I have.
Dude, that's what really... I heard Joker was getting a sequel, and I was like, eh. And then I heard, oh, it's going to be like a musical, and I was like, what?
I'm tired of movies getting turned into musicals. Some of them work, some of them don't. But like, have you seen The Color Purple, the original one?
No.
Great movie. Fantastic movie. My mom's favorite movie, actually. Okay. They made the second one, or they made a reboot, and it was a musical. First one was not a musical whatsoever. Right. And my mom still liked it, but I have my reservations because it didn't need to be made a musical. There was nothing to gain from it being made a musical. It was just made a musical. Speaking
of reboots, Scary Movie was announced to be getting a reboot. I
saw that.
When is the last time a satire movie worked and worked well?
Haunted House, Scary Movie.
And that was like,
I could think of.
Those were early 2000s, right?
Yeah. It's been a hot minute.
Dude, it's just, and I could be completely missing. Let us know in the comments some satire movies that we should maybe check out. And I know there's movies that like make fun of Hollywood or what. I'm talking like purely taking something and just making fun of it in that kind of way. And it's weird because I think I watched the original Scary Movie not too long ago. It would not work. The jokes and everything in there would just not work. And are they going to do like a screen? I know it just was announced. I literally have not seen any details on it. I just see it's getting a reboot. Are they still going to do a parody of Scream? Because how many people are going to get that past the millennials? Right?
I don't know, but if anybody who watches, I think they're tailoring towards an older crowd here just because it's a Scary Movie and how old the movie is. But they could also try and twist it for the younger generation that is old enough to see the movie, legally, I guess. And I would hope they do a Scream parody, but
that's how you know it's going to suck. Because you saying that, if that is their mindset, that means they are going to go heavy on the nostalgia. And movies that go heavy on the nostalgia, not a great track record. I liked No Way Home a lot more than people do now when they look back on it and say it's so nostalgia, infatuated that it doesn't work. I think it works a lot better than that.
It works a lot.
But
MCU's already been playing on the multiversal scale, so I feel like it works with the canon, and it's good. But
if they do a Scary Movie where it's a Scream parody and they're just doing it to cater to millennials, I don't think it's going to be great.
I don't think it would either, but
and I feel like there's to see. And I feel like there's going to be a line that is so cringe. Like in the last Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where he's on a bus and the person's recording and says, "Do something and you're going to be canceled." I feel like there's that level of cringe is going to be in this movie.
That would suck.
Yeah, I think it's going to be there. which scares me.
I see your fears, and I can second that.
Another movie
what I'm curious about is Transformers.
Transformers 1 or the G.I. Joe crossover?
The G.I. Joe crossover. That one.
I'm actually very hyped up about that.
I liked both movies as a kid.
I had a Duke action figure, like a tall Duke action figure when I was little. I watched G.I. Joe Retaliation, and I cried at the opening scene where he's getting the mask burned into his skin. I enjoyed the second G.I. Joe, and looking back on both of them, the second one is better than the first, even though they kill off Duke for some reason.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the new Snake Eyes movie.
I did watch How New because I feel it's old.
It was a couple years. I believe it was like 2021.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Snake Eyes, but Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow were the best parts of that duo. I'm saying this, or we're talking about this, those movies are not connected to whatever crossover is happening in this Transformers G.I. Joe crossover. Apparently,
I have seen that one.
Have you seen the two newest Transformers movies, Rise of Beast and Bumblebee?
I've seen Bumblebee. I haven't seen Rise of Beast.
I haven't seen either one. I saw, though, that in the second one they teased the G.I. Joe. It shows the logo with G.I. Joe. I'm not for sure if this... Like I said, this is another movie that just has an announcement. We just know what's happening, or it's planned to happen. People have agreed to let it happen. You know how movies go.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I would love to see fucking Snake Eyes and Bumblebee together. Optimus Prime.
I don't know how I feel about Bumblebee, like that movie, so
I don't even know if it's connected to those two, and I don't have an opinion on those two.
I would hope not, to be honest, but...
I think we talked about the original Transformers, and I liked the first one. I haven't gone back to watch the second one, but it was okay, in my opinion. And the third one was pretty forgettable. Ironhide died, and that's pretty... Ironhide died, and then Optimus killed Megatron. That's the only two things I remember from that movie. And Sentinel Prime, obviously.
There's a lot of Transformers movies.
Yeah, stretch it back to the 80s. It was massive in the 80s and 90s.
I'm just trying to look into the original early 2000s film series.
There's Transformers 1, Revenge of the Fallen, Dark Side of the Moon, and there's like 2 or 3 more. And I can't remember the taglines of them. Most of them, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, huh?
I saw that the first Mark Wahlberg one, and they immediately killed Ratchet. And I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
That Mark, okay, yeah.
That mixed with the Romeo and Juliet storyline. No. I'm good on that. Actually, it's legal because of the Romeo. Why is that in here? Why are we putting this in here?
The third Transformers really is forgettable. I don't remember much about Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah. I remember, like I said, Sentinel Prime. I remember Ironhide dying because Ironhide was my favorite. And I remember Optimus killing Megatron. Yep. That's the only things I remember.
I remember watching Age of the Extinction, but I do remember watching The Last Night.
Age of Extinction. The last night I saw Optimus was becoming evil. A little bad. A little bit of a bad guy. Or at least he was fighting Bumblebee. And I was like,
I believe that somewhat follows. The Last Night? Yeah. Spoiler alert here. Yeah, Optimus gets taken over by the planet. And he ends up fighting for them, and they were all fighting against each other. It was kind of like a Avengers Civil War kind of deal.
Oh, so they were trying to capitalize off of that.
Yeah. Well, not sure if they were capitalizing off of that, but it was the same gist.
There is a major announcement when it comes to the other Transformers movie that was announced. Transformers 1. Mm-hmm. First of all, Transformers 1 apparently is following Optimus and Megatron before they were enemies. It's how they became enemies, which I think is interesting. I think that's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, it would be.
But sit down. Optimus Prime is not being voiced by Peter Cullen. The voice of Optimus Prime since the 80s is not voicing Optimus Prime in this movie. Guess who it is?
Who?
Chris Hemsworth. Thor. Thor is going to be voicing Optimus Prime. I'm going to be giving him a chance, but to everybody who cannot understand this, this is like Batman animated series getting a movie and replacing Kevin Conroy, if Kevin Conroy was still alive. Now, Peter Cullen has said that he's, did a little bit of a, talk with Chris Evans, propped him up a little bit, but still.
Have you seen Avatar? The series Avatar? No. The original actor for Uncle Iroh died halfway through the 3 series. Or not halfway through, but at some point. And they replaced him. I kind of feel like that, except for...
Oh, are you talking about the original series?
Yes.
I've seen the original series. I thought you were talking about the new one.
No, I'm only like 4 episodes into the new one. But the original actor for Uncle Iroh died, and he sang like his own song in the last episode he would appear in. And then they switched him. Kind of feels like that, except for the original voice actor for Optimus is still alive, and he totally should have done this.
Yeah.
I will agree. I'll give Chris Hemsworth a chance.
I'll give him a chance, and I know you might have to trick yourself in, okay, this is a younger Optimus Prime. I don't necessarily know how fucking Transformers voice works and if it changes with, age, but it's a younger Optimus Prime. Maybe you'll just have to look at it through that lens, but I feel like Peter Cullen is going to be missed.
I would honestly have hoped for it to be Peter Cullen, but I'll give him a chance.
Another prequel, sort of, is that Mufasa movie. Mufasa and the Lion King.
Yeah.
And this is why I say sort of. This movie is, first of all, going to be in the same kind of thing, same kind of style as the live-action remake of The Lion King, which didn't work. It didn't work.
Did not. I don't have high hopes for the new one, but
all the emotion.
Lion King is one of my favorite movies of all time. Not the live-action ones, but
all the emotion that you get from animation was not in the remake of The Lion King. It didn't.
They tried to keep it real to animal physiology, and that just gets rid of emotions.
Which is so stupid. Whoever came up with that idea needs to be fired. Apparently they didn't because they're making this one. But apparently this movie is going to follow Simba as, king, as, just can't wait to be king. Now he's king. It's going to follow Simba as a father, but yet it's still going to give you what Mufasa was like as a kid and his rise to becoming king, which I feel like, hearing that, it's going to be really convoluted.
Uh-huh.
And the name, Mufasa, the Lion King, that is the name of the movie. So when I first heard it, I was like, okay, we're going to prequel Sing Mufasa. And then the first line I read is, no, it's actually a Simba story. But Mufasa's going to be, why are you involving Mufasa? Do one or the other. Do Lion King 2 with Simba and all those issues, and do a Mufasa prequel. I'm pretty sure Mufasa prequel would do numbers. But
I think it would too, especially if it was animated, but unfortunately it's not.
Why are you doing both at the same time? It doesn't make sense.
It's got Mufasa the Lion King in the title. Any sane person would have thought, okay, prequel to the Lion King.
No. Apparently not. It's so stupid. And I know Disney does not do sequels pretty well. Oh. They never have. I didn't like any of the Aladdins past the first one. I didn't like any of the Lion Kings past the first one. The only one they really hit on is Cars and Toy Story. And even then you can have the debate of Pixar, Disney. I know there's some differences.
Toy Story, in my opinion, was pretty good up until the last movie.
I didn't even watch it. I watched the first 3. It's like the MCU. I'll watch Iron Man to Endgame. That's it. That's the MCU. With Toy Story, I watch 1 to 3. I'm going to show my kids 1 to 3. And then when they come up to me saying, "Oh, Dad, we heard that it's a 4th one." No, you didn't.
We heard there's a 4th. No.
Shut the fuck up. No, there's not. There's not.
We will not be watching Toy Story 4 in this house.
That's one of the series that makes me hesitate to trust, movies that's where it should end. That's the story. It's a great story. Toy Story told a great story. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, well, we need money. It's that meme. I know the meme
and they'll
gets
get
shared.
it, and I know they will, and unfortunately.
It's the meme that gets shared around all the time that Mr. Krabs over a grave. He's like, will I really defile this grave for money?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I will. That's Disney with every single one of their properties. Mm-hmm. But why? Why are they
Disney? Let's go to Nickelodeon next then.
Nickelodeon?
Ninja Turtles.
I forgot that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a Nickelodeon property now.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch. I heard that new animation was coming out last year. I didn't watch it.
I watched the last live action movie they had.
I planned on watching
when it came out.
I planned on watching the animation because it was the same style as Spider-Verse animations. But I just ended up not. But I heard it was fine.
I didn't watch it, no. I thought I did for a second, but no, I just watched the last live action one because it came out as a double feature with Sonic. I remember that. Not in most movies, but in that theater I watched it at.
What is your history with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I really liked it as a kid.
No, like which ones were you?
I hadn't really watched the movies. I know I watched the show, which is the one I really liked. And then I think they rebooted the show.
You got to specify because there's like 5 different shows.
Let me look it up.
So while he looks it up, I'll tell you mine. I watched the very first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie I watched. It was just called TMNT. And I remember it, Nolan North voiced Raphael. They were fighting, not Shredder. Shredder was dead. The Foot Clan was not involved. But they were fighting these stone warriors that had been revived. I loved that movie growing up. I loved it so much. I watched that. I watched the original show, I think back in 2006, 2005, 2006.
03 to 2010.
That show. That show was great. I watched the original 80s cartoon. I had a disc with some episodes on it. I watched the new Nickelodeon show. Not the new Nickelodeon show, but the one that was previous. That show was good.
Yep.
In the mid-2010s, I believe. Early mid-2010s.
2017.
Yes. That show was good. And in regards to the new live action, the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles, Megan Fox's April O'Neil.
Now, I've got to say, I did watch the new animated show, and I didn't like it because I'm old, apparently.
It's fair. But the first live action one, I liked it when I watched it. But when I go back and rewatch it,
that's how I feel.
It loses a lot of it, and I never watched the second one all the way through. I watched the first part of the second one, but I never watched.
It's an 07 TMNT movie
That's the one I was describing.
Okay.
Yeah. Nolan North is Raphael. That fight, if y'all have never watched this movie, go watch it. I promise it's worth it. But the fight between Raphael and Leonardo on top of that building in the rain, it's so well animated. It's so well voice acted. It's so good.
So yeah, I remember watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. That's a 2016 movie.
That came out all the way in 2016. I forgot how old that is.
And the one before that came out 2 years prior, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I remember watching that one. I didn't see the TMNT movie. Let's see. There's a couple different iterations here. I did watch some versions of the 1990 movie.
I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Batman. That was kind of wacky and funny.
I did also see a couple episodes of the 80s or the late 80s, early 90s show.
Did you watch the live action movies?
Yes.
I remember very fondly when Mikey is ordering a pizza. He's like, no anchovies. I swear to God, if you put anchovies on that pizza... Mikey!
Yeah.
I will say the new oh my God, I forget which one it was. But when Casey first showed up, I'm like, who's that? Jason Voorhees? On steroids?
I remember that. I do also have strong memories tied to the 03 to 2010 and the 2012 to 2017 shows.
But this new movie is following the Last Ronin comic series. Have you heard anything about the Last Ronin comic book series?
No.
My
roommate's
God.
really big into comics, but I haven't.
It's so... I haven't read it, but I was following this YouTube channel, I think Variant Comics. Mm-hmm. They were giving a synopsis of the story as issues were being released. The Last Ronin, and I'm not going to spoil anything, one of the turtles is alive. Just one. The other three are dead. Okay?
Oh. Okay.
And this is post-Shredder. This is post-Master Splinter. April O'Neil is in it. But that's post all that. And it's like a futuristic Foot Clan that this Last Ronin is fighting. It is really, really good. And
so the turtle is the Last Ronin. I kept thinking Shredder.
No.
As a person.
Yeah. It's this last turtle. Again, I won't say who, but I am I really hope they nail this story and nail this movie.
It'd be a weird jump from their previous movies, I'd have to say, but I'd be interested in watching it.
Well, it's following... Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is following, like, the Transformers right now and DC right now, where it's like, yeah, this movie's happening, but it's not connected to anything. This movie's happening, not connected to anything. Oh, now the sudden we're flashing all the way forward or all the way back.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you have to make a cinematic universe, because I know that kind of Marvel and DC and a lot of movies that were playing into this kind of switch that. You got to kind of turn that off where, not everything's connected. But it is like the last Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie is literally, I think, them in their early years animated, doing all this stuff. And now the next movie that we're probably going to get, if this does release next, is one of them is alive and the rest is dead.
Yeah.
But I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And did you grow up an only kid?
Yes.
Okay. See, we have to talk that dynamic because you grew up an only kid. I grew up in a house full of brothers. And like my favorite stuff growing up was always Drake and Josh, Phineas and Ferb, Zach and Cody, and the Ninja Turtles. Me and my brothers were always like, I'm Leo, I'm Raph, I'm Mikey, I'm Donnie. And we'd all like grab makeshift weapons and smack the fuck out of each other with them.
Now, I mean, I've got to say, there is a bit of influence in my life from the Ninja Turtles. Like, for example, let me grab it here.
Go ahead.
Got it on me at all times, but I mean, I've got a whole sword.
A katana?
Yes, sir.
Who was your favorite?
Two of them, actually.
Who was your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Mikey. I still have nunchucks. They're not with me here, but they're definitely back with my mom's.
I was always Leonardo, because blue is one of my favorite colors. I was the oldest brother, so I was considered the leader. So I was Leo. My little brother was Raphael, because he was the second oldest, and his favorite color was red. He wasn't, oh, everybody sucks, and you know what I mean? And then Mikey and Donnie were my other two brothers, and they just kind of fell in line. I think one of them was Mikey, because one of their favorite things to do was skateboarding. So we were like, all right, you're Mikey. And then we used to make fun of my brother, who was Donatello, because he's a dumbass. So we were like, you're supposed to be the smart one, idiot. And he'd be like, shut up.
I think I had like an order to how I liked them. It always went like Mikey, Donatello, Raph, and then Leonardo.
I was gifted a bow staff when I was training in Kung Fu.
I had a bow staff.
I'm trying to remember what branch of Kung Fu I was training in, but I got a bow staff, and I would watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and try to do what Donnie did. Ended up smacking myself in the dick or whatever.
I did a lot of karate as a kid. I made it all the way to black belt. Can't show anything for it now, but I did take nunchucks and bow staff classes.
But yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles I don't know the full lore of. I can name Bebop and Rocksteady. I can name Shredder and the Foot Clan, Splinter, April O'Neil, but that's pretty much where the lore ends. I know there's a couple more villains that I'm missing, but I just don't know the names of them.
Can't
but
remember the names.
I'm very, very excited for this, and I really hope they nail it.
All right, if we're on the childhood here, there's one movie I really want to talk about before we end today. The live-action Minecraft movie.
The live-action Minecraft movie was announced a while ago, and I'm going to say now what I said back then. Why?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Minecraft,
both.
there is an underlying story to it. Sure. But Minecraft, by itself, it's a sandbox game.
It's a sandbox game. They're making a story.
Minecraft is you play as a basic dude with no voice lines to where you can customize to, your heart's extent, and you can do whatever the fuck you want. Whatever you want. I don't understand why this is getting a movie.
I don't either. At least what I hope is that they're going to play off of Minecraft story mode. That's the best shot they have. Because they just go straight Minecraft. What are you going to do there? You're just going to make a story pop up out of thin air? Like, Minecraft story mode is at least, has a story, hence the name. So, that's what I hope they do.
Like I said, there is an underlying kind of story. Where did these temples come from? Where did this stronghold come from? The end, what is that? Like, there's a lot of things that you can explore. But how you are going to take this Minecraft game when video games have a history of bad movies, the best ones, the best ones in my opinion, we're about to talk about in a little bit. But Minecraft? The sandbox game. I'm not dissing Minecraft, but I don't have confidence that they're going to do this properly.
So yeah, you were with me earlier when I started looking for a trailer. There isn't an official trailer, as I found out after watching what I thought was the official trailer. I was about to shit on this movie. Yeah. I looked at that and was like, there's no way that they got this for a movie and they're going to try and actually make that. No, it was just a collection of edits people made to, Minecraft IRL type stuff. I saw that and was like, this is going to be such a bad movie.
Yeah.
But if they follow story mode, that could work. If they try and follow the basic sandbox game, they're going to have to pull a lot from lore to try and fill in a movie out of that.
They might just do, MatPat made an entire series on uncovering the lore of Minecraft.
I remember.
They might just follow that storyline.
That's what I'm getting at.
If they follow that storyline, MatPat needs some cash. All right? MatPat needs some money. Because he worked fucking hard. So I'm going to bat for MatPat right now, even though he retired a month ago or whatever.
Unfortunately.
But that story, sure, that could be interesting. And I don't know if I trust it. And when it comes down to what video games deserve a movie, I'm surprised a GTA movie hasn't been made yet.
I'm surprised too. There's grabbable story from that game.
Yeah, there's enough games, enough lore to where you could do what the Uncharted movie did, and the Uncharted movie took, characters and set pieces and storylines from every single one of the games and put them in that movie.
Yep.
You could do that with GTA and make a fine movie. Because I'm saying GTA because it's obvious they were like, we want to make a video game movie. Pulled up the movies that made the most money ever. It's like Minecraft. There we go. Should be fine. When GTA is right there. GTA is basically a movie that you play. I know a lot of people hate that, the guys who love single player games, but GTA is one of those where it's like The Last of Us. I know it's got a show, but that could be made a movie, you know? It's a lot better than a sandbox game. A game that is meant for you to do whatever you want.
But I've got to say, I'm not looking forward to it, but I want to watch it just to have an eye on it, see what happens, what they do with it. And apparently it's set to come out in 2025, apparently.
Yeah, I'm talking all this shit. I'm going to watch it. I don't know if it's going to be in theaters, but I'm going to watch it.
A lot of these movies on this list that we're both looking at here, I would watch them just to see how they did it. What their angle is.
I touched on video game movies. Historically bad, right? Assassin's Creed movie, not great. All three Mortal Kombat movies, not great. Even though I kind of liked the newest Mortal Kombat movie.
I liked one of the older ones.
Street Fighter movies, not great. Resident Evil movies, not great. We could go on and on. I know you watched Gran Turismo recently. You said it wasn't that great.
It wasn't that great. Fun movie, not that good.
Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 were really good in my opinion. Really good, maybe Sonic a bit of a stretch.
Sonic 2.
Well, really good, maybe a bit of a stretch, but I enjoyed Sonic and Sonic 2. I
could tell you Sonic 1 was, for part of the reason Sonic 1 was so good is because the creators of the movie listened to the public outrage that happened when they released the first trailer. Yeah. And remade the movie.
I will say, I don't know.
Sonic 2 could just play off of that.
I don't know how the hell that thing got past anybody.
I don't either. There had to have been focus groups that would have said, no, that's ass.
But they changed that. They got the attitude of Sonic right. They got the world right. Jim Carrey, who I was a little skeptical playing Eggman, did really good. Job. Did really good. And then in the second one, Tails was great. Knuckles was great. Sonic was great. Jim Carrey was still great. Now, speaking of Jim Carrey, that does worry me a little bit because Jim Carrey is retired. Jim Carrey is not doing acting anymore.
Yeah.
And Eggman was not killed off in the second one. No. So, I don't know if he was... Did you see the tease of Shadow?
I did see the tease of Shadow. I didn't see the tease of Eggman if there was one.
No. So Eggman, fell back and whatever. I don't think he died in that movie. I don't know if he was involved with I have this secret weapon that I'm going to unleash on Sonic and it's Shadow. I'm a little skeptical. I'm a little worried about how they're going to handle Eggman. But this new movie, with Shadow being my favorite character next to Knuckles.
Shadow was also one of my favorite characters.
Knuckles is my favorite character from the Sonic universe, but right there is Shadow. So I'm very, very... I'm going to watch Sonic 3. And I hope it makes Sonic... I hope it makes Sonic a great trilogy. I really, really do. I think it has the possibility of being a great trilogy.
I feel like... I don't know much about the movie, but I feel like there's going to be Amy, there's going to be Rose.
Probably.
They're going to try and add all of those characters, whether it be in Sonic 3 or whether they try and continue the series, but something's going to happen there. It has to.
They could. Did you watch, was it called Sonic XD? What was that show they did for Sonic a little while ago?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
What? It was on the same network as that 2003 TMNT show. Jukebox or something? It's a funny show. I would go back and I'll watch it sometimes now. It's a pretty funny show.
Oh, Sonic DX?
Sonic DX.
It's a game.
What?
I'm seeing a GameCube logo.
Hold on, because I'm going to look this up.
It'll on stream. Steam.
Ventures Sonic Underground. Was it Sonic Underground? No.
I've seen Sonic Underground.
Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog? Nope. What show am I thinking about?
No clue. Sonic X, maybe?
Yes, Sonic X. That is what
I have
it's
seen
called.
that, yes.
That by the way, that network, it had Sonic X, it had that original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle show, it had a Pac-Man show. Do you remember the Pac-Man show?
I remember the Pac-Man show, yeah.
Dude, it had a Pac-Man show. Remember when I hear the Pac-Man show wasn't that bad.
No. At least not while I was a kid, no.
No,
I have to go back and look at it now, but...
If they pulled a decent show out of Pac-Man, I might get on board with the Minecraft. Especially with Jack Black being there. But,
Possible.
Back to Sonic. Yeah. I think it could set a great precedent to video game movies starting off. That you don't have to make these massive changes. You just take the character, take people who are fans of the character and fans of the universe,
story, and just adapt it.
Do something with it.
Yes.
And Sonic 1 through 3, I think, is working. And I think I'm very hyped up for it.
Fair. I want to see it too.
Now, one of the last reboots I want to talk about, Jurassic World.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that actually.
Jurassic World is getting another. I don't know if it's really a reboot, but Chris Pratt isn't coming back.
I feel like the series has gone on too long as it is.
Way too long. Now, my history with Jurassic, I like the first Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've seen the third one. Wasn't great. I've seen the first
one.
I saw the first two Jurassic Worlds, and I thought they were fine. I thought the first one's fun. The second one is a bit eh.
Actually, I've seen the first one in clips of Jurassic World.
What?
Is that the one? The newer one.
Jurassic World Dominion? That's the most recent one.
The one before that.
I can't think of the tagline, but the one where it's like this guy wants his own dinosaur and they have to evacuate all the dinosaurs off the island.
Yes,
and
that one.
Think that that's going to go really well. And shocker, it doesn't.
Uh-huh.
I get
clips of that one.
I get you can't let them die. I get it. But it's like, should we let them die? Heed Jeff Goldblum's words. Heed his words.
Yeah. I feel like the series, they hit off of the first 3 Jurassic Park movies and then were just like, let's keep going. And people loved it. But I feel like it's already just going too far.
I mean, it makes a lot of money. That's what it comes down to. Jurassic Park makes a lot of money. A lot of money.
Yeah.
Another reboot that I don't think is going to make a lot of money. They're rebooting the Blair Witch movie.
Yeah.
Why are they rebooting the Blair Witch movie?
Given I haven't seen the first one because I don't like watching horror movies.
Blair Witch started the trend of found footage movies.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really interesting how they did the marketing. I know the stories are all over the place and you hear it all the time anybody talks about Blair Witch, but the website they used to where people were legitimately putting prayer requests in church for the 3 missing people in the woods of wherever this took place. Uh-huh. Like people were legit convinced that this was a real movie. Or this was a real thing that they just put in a theatrical release. Kind of like what happened with Paranormal Activity.
I was going to say Paranormal Activity.
You can't catch that magic now. You just can't. Right? Maybe with some older people that don't understand the internet, but those people are not going to go watch this movie. Found footage movies have pretty much died. I know there was a pretty decent one a year or 2 ago called like Incantation or something.
No clue.
They said that movie was pretty good, but that's the only found footage movie that's been decent, at least a mainstream found footage movie that's been decent for a while. Yeah. And Blair Witch is a movie. It's good. It's great. People who like Blair Witch will go back and watch Blair Witch. Nobody asked for a reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Have you watched any found footage movie?
No, I tend to stray away from horror a lot.
I will say it's a very interesting concept, and the premise gets you a little scared to begin with. It's stupid popular on YouTube. Anytime you see like a scary video compilation, it's just a mixture of found footage films, short films, right?
I'm looking at a list of found footage movies, and I would not want to watch any of these.
But I'm just saying, Blair Witch is the most iconic found footage movie. Blair Witch was a legitimately creepy movie that has an you say it?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Ambiguous?
Ambiguity?
Yeah, ambiguous ending. It has an ambiguous ending, started a trend, is an icon of its decade, and it's fine. It doesn't need a reboot. I know this is just old man yelling at the clouds, and this is a statement and a phrase that people have heard millions of times, but stop rebooting old movies.
I didn't realize the Blair Witch Project was a 1999 movie.
Yeah. And me saying Blair Witch is an old movie is probably going to make a lot of people go,
Yeah, born in 2000. Let's get it. I'm not there yet.
But
kind of
25 years old is an old. No, it's not. I'm 22 years old. 25 is not
23.
old. But doesn't need a reboot. If you want to make a movie that is inspired by it, I'll get on board. But you said this is a reboot of the Blair Witch movie? Stop. Knock it off.
So we've already gone through the age of musicals. Now we're in the age of reboots, apparently.
Now, last conversation we'll have before we end this film too. I want to say, by the way, I know we've done film talk, we've done Red Light Trivia Night film version, and now we're doing film 2, all in like a short span of each other. But we enjoy movies. We might have a couple things underway in terms of content, but we want to make this podcast a variety level podcast. But all this was announced, and I feel like I wanted to talk about it. So, with all that being said, what handful of movies are you looking forward to this coming up year? The two that I can think of right now. What is it? That Stuntman movie with Ryan Gosling that's coming out.
Oh,
I want to say Fall Guy, but I don't know.
Fall Guy. That's exactly what it is. Yeah,
okay.
Fall Guy.
I really, really want to see that movie. When
I do too.
When I watched Iron Claw, the preview came on, and me and my lady looked at each other, and we were like, "That's a movie we got to see." And obviously, Deadpool 3. Really, really want to see Deadpool 3.
I'm looking forward to that one. I kind of want to see Civil War.
See,
I'm not so sure how I feel about it.
I haven't seen Civil War. I saw the previews. I heard that it was a good movie, but I don't know how. I don't know if I want to see that kind of movie right now. You know.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm still looking through movies coming out in 2024. There's a Garfield movie coming out apparently. But
I heard that.
Really looking
voiced by Chris Pratt, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. But Bad Boys, Ride or Die.
I haven't seen the newest Bad Boys. Was it good?
Yeah, all of them were pretty good.
I saw the first two, and the first two are some of my favorite movies of all time, especially the second one. I never saw. Is it Bad Boys for Life? Is that what the movie's called?
Bad Boys for Life. Yep.
I didn't see it. And honestly, I forgot it came out until I saw this new one announced, and I was like, oh yeah, they made a third one a couple years ago, didn't they? And my brain was like, yeah, they did. And I meant to watch it, but I never did.
Yeah, Fall Guy and like Bad Boys are like my top two that I'm looking for. Apparently Transformers 1 is supposed to be coming out in 2024.
Yeah, I think it comes out in September, which I might be on the lookout for.
I'm going to be on the lookout for that too.
The Last Ronin is not even in production yet. The Minecraft movie just wrapped up filming. Mufasa and the Lion King, I think, is next year. And I don't really have a timeline on any of the others that we talked about.
Yeah, I'm looking at Kung Fu Panda 4 just released. Oh, American Society of Magical Negroes. I do kind of want to see that one.
I heard that.
Came out last month, apparently.
I heard that movie was absolute dog shit, and it only made $1 million in the first week of it being out.
was kind of ready to see that one. But I'm still going to probably watch it.
I saw a joke from a white guy where he, on TikTok, where he played the last bit of the trailer where it says the title. And it was him in a movie theater. He's like, all right, I'll take one ticket. And the guy goes, to what movie? And he goes, come on, man.
It reminds me of the clip I saw. I was like, I would like to go watch a movie. Which movie? The movie. Fuck you. What? The movie. Fuck you.
I love that kind of humor. The same like in Rush Hour.
Uh-huh.
Where it's like, me. No. He is him. I, me. You are you.
Yep. I am you. No, you are not me. No, I am me.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about it. I want to touch on this real quick. Live action Monopoly was announced with Margot Robbie.
Yeah, I'm confused about that. And how I feel.
I watched Battleship when that came out. Do you remember Battleship?
I didn't watch that.
A lot of people said it sucked and it was bad.
I knew it was going to be bad from seeing the trailers and was like, I don't want to watch this one.
I was a kid when I watched it. I had a good time watching it. I was a child, so take that as you will. But yeah. It did rip a scene straight from Independence Day, where in Independence Day, do you remember when they are like observing the alien and the alien comes alive?
Mm-hmm.
They ripped that. As soon as I watched that scene, I was like, oh, they're ripping Independence Day.
Yeah.
But
I'm just looking at a list of movies that are coming out this year, and there's a couple different ones that I'd probably watch.
I almost stopped my recording, but let us know what movies that we talked about today that you're looking for, that you're not looking forward to, that you're mad about. Let us know what movies you're looking forward to this year, right? I hope you all enjoyed the little discussion we had.
And it's going to keep coming back because we like movies.
We like movies. We're interested. Movies, video games, movies based on video games based on movies. Both of those suck. But we had a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed listening. Follow us on everything. TikTok, YouTube, Red Light Homies, Instagram.
Spotify.
You can do Twitter. Fuck you if you do Twitter, though. All the links are in the description. Email us questions, comments, concerns, redlighthomies@gmail.com. You might get it read out on the show. Maybe. Possibly. I'm just honestly just saying a bunch of random things to fill time right now. This was your homies, Jackie and Z.
That's me.
And we'll see y'all next Monday.
Peace out.